Hello, this is Sean Cully. I will be presenting on StarGirl. I will specifically presenting on peers and family within the book. First off, peers. Our main character, StarGirl, um, has none. It's literally the theme of the book that she's a singular individual. She's unique to this town, to the high school that she goes to, and much of the book can be spent on sort of how the various other youth or her quote unquote peers or people that would be or should be her peers and how they react to her. Um, that can be broken down into three categories based on the chronology of the book as well. So that bafflement, wonderment, and rejection. First off, bafflement. The their students are confused by her. They're not sure what to make of her as she suddenly arrives to their school. They don't know if her behavior is some sort of bit that she's doing or a joke, or if she is a literal alien who just fell to the earth, a literal star girl. Um, Then we have wonderment. They are excited by her behavior, outlandish or strange though it may be. It seems new and exciting. It really reminds me this section of the movie Pleasantville, where we have a town that is full of people behaving very traditionally, very consistently, and then one or two people sort of break those sort of cultural norms, and then suddenly they go from being in black and white to being in color. And I think that's very much what Stargirl does for a lot of the people in this town, in this high school, is that she breaks them out of their norms, their routines, and adds color and excitement to their life. I really think that's what our author's hoping that we see in Stargirl is sort of um, that expectation shattering, norm breaking that is exciting and positive. And then wonderment is really followed by rejection, where the students at her school really begin to shun her for her behavior and her actions. A lot of the rejection stems from her violating cultural expectations and norms. So during the Wonderman section, she joins the cheer squad and is cheering really excitedly, and people are all about that. But during the rejection section, she's shunned because she's on the cheer squad, and she not only cheers for her team but the other team as well, which is obviously, not what is expected of her or appreciated when she does it. Or during the rejection section, we see her, she attends a funeral for a community member who died, but she doesn't know the person who died, nor anyone of their family. And it's obviously not cool to crash someone's funeral. So the sort of behavior that violates sort of cultural or expected norms are one of the reasons that she's then shunned. A lot of the book is also spent with our narrator, who is Leo, who's sometimes Stargirl's boyfriend and sometimes not throughout the book. And he sort of follows her around her various exploits and little adventures that she goes on. A lot of these adventures, these exploits, these activities are really around sort of figuring out how people work, figuring out sort of how people are supposed to behave. So one of the things she does is she will be walking around town and she'll just pick a person out at random and then she'll just tail that person. She'll follow them around as they go about their day, um, doing her best not to be observed herself as she follows them around to see sort of what the rest of their day looks like and what their behavior is like, making up a little story along the way about the person they are and who they are and how they'll be spending the rest of their life. Or she has a little kid that lives down the street from her, who's like a little boy, and she's been, unbeknownst to him or that kid's family, been taking photos of him and putting a scrapbook together of his life, and sort of all the things that he does with his time. And then she plans on then giving him that scrapbook at some point in time. So that's another example, I think, of her observing people to try and figure out sort of what normal behavior is like. What do normal people do? How do they behave? What activities do they do? How do they react to things? Because she does not seem like she knows. Um, One of the reasons I suspect she doesn't know is based on her family. There it is. There's the slide. So we do meet her parents at least twice. Both times, their parenting style could be only categorized as permissive or uninvolved. We meet them twice. The first time we meet them is when Leo is going over to dinner at their house, and there's really a big build up to this because we expect them to be much like Stargirl herself, strange and unusual, a lot of personality, charismatic, but we really don't get anything from them. We don't hear them speak the entire time. We don't hear them tell stories. We don't see like their quirky room or spaces. We have meatloaf for dinner. I think it's really supposed to be like Stargirl's weirdness cannot be blamed upon her parents, except that I think it really can. Part of the reason that she is strange is that she did not have appropriate or normal behavior modeled for her her parents didn't have friends over at the house who then they interacted with and modeled sort of how you behave with your friends, to Stargirl, so she doesn't have that ability to sort of know what that was like. Um, Other evidence of her parents' permissive parenting style can be seen in the fact that Stargirl changes her name several times throughout the book, and they changes her name with her peers, but also officially at the school, which would require paperwork and parental sign-offs and things like that. Stargirl also gets a lot of elaborate outfits throughout the the book, and those are all supposedly put together by her mom. There's a costume designer that will require obviously a lot of effort to come up with those costumes that she wears. Um, Later on in the book, Stargirl enters a series of oratory competitions. She wins her school one, her district one, and then goes on to the state. When she goes on to state, we see her driven to the state by her teacher along with her boyfriend, not with her parents, which is, would be one thing if it was like a team, but it's like just the four people that go. It's her two parents go, but they drive themselves separately, and then Stargirl goes with their parents, or goes with her teacher and her boyfriend, which seems surprising. I think it suggests that her parents are sort of uninvolved. They're sort of non-characters. We see them at the competition. They all have dinner together, the four of them, the teacher, the boyfriend, the two parents. And then once again, we don't see them speak. They don't say anything, which again seems like they're like non-people. They remind me of sort of Charlie Brown adults or Peanut adults. They're there to, as to confirm the fact that she has supervision and adults in her life, but they're not there to add any color or personality or show that they're involved in any way, which is, I think, part of it as well. So that was peers, and that was family as well, and how the two things sort of affect one another. Once again, my name is Sean Cully. We read Stargirl. I'm out.